One. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9 of Chase Chats. I am joined today by some of my brothers from the 2007 Missouri football team. I want to give a quick shout out to Socialive making this all possible. This is live right now. We are running a donation and fundraiser for the food bank as well in partnership with Missouri, and just want to thank all these guys for getting on tonight. And we got a fun show planned for you today. Took some planning. This took some J-Mac's in here twice. I love it. Took some action, but you know what? We got everyone in here, and we just really appreciate it. We got Tony Temple, Duke Pig Brown in the house, Zoe, Chase Kaufman, Martin T. Rucker with probably the best background, Mo City, Sean Witherspoon, and Jeremy Maclin. And without further ado, I'm going to toss it over to Mike Kelly, and he is going to formally introduce us. Mike, take us away.
Chase, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the food bank, who's going to benefit from this tonight. The food bank for Central and Northeast Missouri, a regional disaster and hunger relief network that acquires and distributes literally millions of pounds of food annually to partner agencies across the 32 county region here in the state of Missouri. The food bank really does a terrific job, and in this time of need during this COVID virus, they need as much help as they possibly can. So you can go online to sharefoodbringhope.org. Sharefoodbringhope.org if you'd like to donate, and you can also do it where you're watching this as well. So let's begin with some introduction and bring back some memories of everybody that has joined us tonight. First, we're going to welcome your host, Mr. William Chase Daniel. He had a record-setting career in Missouri, of course, from South Lake, Texas. Recently signed with the Detroit Lions and gets set for his 12th season in the National Football League. Chase, bring us up to date on life in the Daniel household.
Yeah, it's going really well. Thanks for the intro, Mike. It's a weird time right now with COVID-19 going on, but we're making do and trying to do our social distancing, keep 6 feet apart at all times, and make sure everyone's safe. But the family's great. My wife and I just had a baby girl 3 months ago, Parker. So now we have 2. And I tell you what, we were talking on this call a little bit earlier. It's like playing man-to-man defense a little bit. So my wife and I have our hands full. I know Tommy is expecting a second as well. And quite honestly, some of the other guys have 2 or 3 kids. So they know what it's like. It's going well. Excited for year 12 in the NFL.
Next with us, a wide receiver from Kirkwood, Missouri, a 2-time All-American in Mizzou, drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles with the 19th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. He played 8 years in the National Football League, recently inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Jeremy Maclin, it's great to see you.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. You too, Chase. Appreciate you. Thank
you. So tell us what life is like for you right now, J-Mac.
Life is good, man. Kind of to piggyback of what Chase said, man, during these tough times, it really makes you put everything in perspective. My girl just turned 1 on the 10th. So I'm a dad now, man. And I recently took the offensive coordinator job at my alma mater. I'm an alma mater in high school at Kirkwood. So I've just been doing that and kind of game plan and get my playbook together. While practicing social distancing at the same time. So, life is good, man.
Next, the tight end from St. Joe, Mo.
St. Joe.
He was a consensus All-American chosen in the 4th round of the 2008 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns. Terrific background behind him. Hello, Martin T. Rucker.
The voice of the Tigers, Mike Kelly. What's up, big dog? Appreciate the intro. Chase D, Billy Deasy, appreciate you putting all this together. And thanks to all the guys for joining in as well. Just, to echo what everybody else says, these are trying times. And, we've been fortunate. I'm a project engineer at a construction company here in Kansas City. I also own my own trucking company as well. We've got a fleet of 12 dump trucks. And we've been able to work during this, but there's a lot of people who haven't been able to. And so doing this for a great cause. And if you're watching this, please go to the link and donate, because there are a lot of people who need our help. As far as me and my family, things are going great. And I've got a 2-year-old who will be 3 in a month and a half, and I've got a 10-month-old as well, and she's just starting to walk. So life is interesting, and it's a lot of fun around here. Things are loud, but when you play football for a living, you know you're used to that. So it's like a locker room. You know, everything's broken and it smells bad in here, but it's all good. Having a lot of fun and really excited to be a part of this.
It's great to see you. Next with us, a winner of the John Mackey Award, given to the nation's best tight end in 2008, selected in the 3rd round of the 2009 NFL Draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. Hello, Chase Kaufman.
How are you guys doing, man? It's awesome to be here. Awesome to see you guys. And I already wrote on this little thing, man. We got to get together in person. This is already bringing back all kinds of memories.
Yeah. A former walk-on from Kearney, Missouri. He would eventually not only become a dependable member of the team and a wide receiver, but also a captain. He signed with the Detroit Lions in 2009. Please welcome, for everyone who doubted me, Tommy Saunders.
Hey.
84.
84.
Man, it's good seeing everybody. Thanks for the invite, Chase. Excited to just kind of talk and reminisce. This is a great time just being with everybody and just here and share stories, man. Excited.
Looking forward to that. A running back from Kansas City put an exclamation point on his Missouri career with a record-setting performance in the Cotton Bowl, 281 yards. He broke a record that stood for some 54 years. Tony Temple's outside enjoying the weather.
Yes, what's going on, fellas? How you doing, Mr. Kelly? Man, it feels like you guys said, man, it feels good just to be back. We obviously are going through some trying times, but we got to lean on each other doing this. And so it's good to be back with my Mizzou family. Obviously, we're all fathers. We're all married. I have 2 beautiful girls. I have my son, too, who is about to be 2 in 2 more months. And so life has been great. I'm currently here in Kansas City, Missouri. Ironically, in the fitness world, still working out, something I didn't like to do when I was playing ball, but working out and trying to stay in shape. So I'm glad to catch up with you guys.
A defensive tackle from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, a team captain in 07. He delivered, of course, one of the most memorable plays for Mizzou fans. A beaten down Kansas quarterback, Todd Reesing, peeling himself off of the end zone grass at Arrowhead Stadium with lots of turf still stuck in the face mask. Lorenzo Williams, 99. Great to see you.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, Mike Kelly? Good to see you. First of all, I'd like to thank the offense for inviting us defensive guys to this.
Yeah, man. How'd you get in here?
Thank you, Cal.
You know we had to have a couple defensive guys.
Right. I really
He hacked
appreciate
the Zoom link.
Right. No, doing great, man. Got a few kids. I think I had kids earlier than anybody else did. My daughter's about to be 12 this year. They playing softball. I got a son that's 7, man. I know time go by fast, man. So, everybody talking about going man-to-man defense. I started off man-to-man defense with twins. You know what I mean? And added another dude. It's been pretty cool. But coaching football here in Oklahoma, man, head football coach. Has been a head coach for this is my 11th year coaching, 6th year being a head football coach. So getting rolling, man. A lot of trying times, like people been saying. It's been a little crazy out here, not being able to see my guys and stuff. So, but we doing what we can, man. We try to stay in contact with everybody and make sure everybody's safe, and make sure the kids got what they need and stuff like that. So it's going good.
Next with us, a linebacker from Jasper, Texas. He would become a fan favorite during his career. He was a first-team All-Big 12 selection in 07 as a sophomore, would go on to become the 19th player selected in the 2010 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons, Franklin Deshaun Weatherspoon.
I like Franklin, but only my wife calls me that, Mike. So, let that out the bag. I'm just truly, I'm just grateful to be here with you guys, man. It takes me back to a time where, it's a little different than today. But I'm in Atlanta, living in Brookhaven. My family is growing. Got married in 17. So we have two toddlers and a baby. So my baby, she's about 5 months, and my oldest kid is about 5 years old. Her name is Ava, and my middle is the boy. His name is Baby Sean, and the baby is named Corey. So right now, man, we're just at home, social distancing, just like everybody else. Would be coaching my kids' softball team and soccer team and all that stuff, but right now I'm just kind of hanging out, man. Glad to be with you guys.
A safety who represented the Boot Heel from Hayti, Missouri, set a Mizzou record with 8 interceptions in 07, drafted in the second round of the 09 draft by the Atlanta Falcons, the 55th pick overall. He would go on to play 6 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, chilling in the big chair with the really nice leather.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
Ziggy.
little people.
What's up, Mike? Good, baby. Appreciate the introduction, man. Again, Chase, this is awesome what you're doing, brother. And continue to do what you do. You know, that's what you do. That's why we voted you captain, and you know, let us down yet. But just chilling, man. Just being here, being a great dad, man, and continue to, you know, write the story of this book, man, and doing a little media in the media department for the Falcons, doing a little TV show co-hosting with my guy, quarterback DJ Shockley, with the Falcons Rise Up show. So this 3 years into it now. So I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, man. So it's good to be here talking to my guys. Everybody's happy, healthy. That's more important. So good to see y'all, man. That's good.
Here's somebody that a lot of us haven't seen for a long time, a safety from Adel, Georgia, 2007 season limited to just 8 games because of an Achilles injury. But what memories he left Missouri fans with, including a remarkable debut that season against Illinois. He blocked a PAT, had an interception, 2 fumbles, including returning 100 yards, all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Pig Brown, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Mike. Hey, thank you so much for the introduction. Chase, once again, not Chase Coffin, Chase Daniel, man. I love you, Chase Coffin, but Chase, man, this is a great thing. Great thing you're doing, man. It's just such a blessing to see all you guys again. It's what's crazy to me, man. We all still look the same. I think we're aging well, but Mike, just like the rest of the sports world, right now I'm the current head coach for the Duke City Gladiators in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we're shut down as well for the 2020 season. So getting prepared for the 2021 season, but like everyone else said, we're going through rough and tough times right now, but I just did an event the other day, and I just told everybody that even through these tough times, there are some good that's still going on. So I think what we're doing here today it's just great for everybody. It's just great to see everybody. And I hope everybody that's in tune right now enjoys it, and let's just have a good time today.
Absolutely. Hey, Chase Daniel, as you think of this group, and I want everybody to talk about this, but what made this team so special? You can see the closeness that you still enjoy as teammates, but why ultimately was this team able to reach some of the goals that it had set for itself throughout the course of that season?
Yeah, you know, that's a tough question and an easy question at the same time, because if you look at all these guys, and this is just a little group of a big group of guys that sort of set the tone for where Missouri was going. And you know, for me personally, like coming in 05, and we're all different, you know, age ranges here, coming in 05, there was a really good standard at Mizzou. And, but it wasn't where a lot of the seniors really in 06 and 07 wanted it. Like I just remember, especially in 07, and this is, you know, all these guys play at different times. The 07 senior class and the 07 captains and the leaders, like they expected us to win. They expected us to do right. They expected us to just, you know, not be an 8-win team. They, you know, just sick and tired of it. Like they've seen winning seasons. They've seen no bowl games. They've seen bowl game comebacks, Independence Bowl 05. They've seen bowl game losses, 06 Sun Bowl. And so that to me is like sort of what separated us, and what made the group so special for me. I mean, it's hard to put into words, right? Like if guys aren't there, like it was so long ago for me. It was, you know, 12, 13, 14 years ago. And that's what is so crazy is that like, I haven't talked to some of these guys in 10 years, but it's literally just, I mean, we're going to tell some stories later that are just going to be like, it was just like, it was like yesterday. And so that's what the coolest thing about it is just like knowing these guys are here. And look who it is. We got
Oh.
Ziggy Hood
Ziggy
in
Hood showed up.
the building.
Rock line.
The last one.
Man, what's up with technology, man? It wasn't working at first. What's
He
going on?
came in right when the introductions was on. He didn't want to waste time.
He got to show us his chest. You see him?
You see his show that you
Yes.
Yeah, he
He
got
was
to
working out.
Be known, huh? Yeah.
Travel suit
Yeah,
from
look like
06 on.
Goro.
Hey, get your chest out of the screen, brother.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Y'all tripping, man.
This Chase show, not yours.
Ziggy, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know there were a little bit of technical difficulties, but we just got through the introduction. We are recording now, and
Okay.
We are live, and we're excited about it. Mike Kelly I know has a great introduction for you, so I'll let him just hit that real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Ziggy, if you could take your phone and just turn it so it's more of a landscape view, so we can get. There we go. Better shot. Defensive tackle from where else? Amarillo, Texas, who the Pittsburgh Steelers selected with the 32nd pick in the 2009 NFL draft. He went on to play 11 seasons in the National Football League. Evander Ziggy Hood, bring us up to date. Tell us what life is like for you today.
Well, man, I'm trying to be a homeschool teacher, man. These boys out here running. Man, I can't wait for school to start back up, man, because, man, it's wild right now.
Real life, man. Quarantine.
Tell me
Yeah,
about it.
y'all appreciate the teachers now, ain't you? Yeah, all right, that's right.
Yeah, we got paying for it.
I think parents get to see what the teachers was actually doing now. You're like,
Yeah.
Some of y'all out there finding out that it wasn't the teacher's fault. Boy, it's your kids.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's so funny. No, Ziggy, thanks so much for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. We were just talking a little bit. We literally just started the conversation. Mike was asking a little bit about what made the 07 class special. And I sort of want to take it to T-Ruck. Like, you were obviously been there for a while when I got there, and you were a senior, right, in 07. And just talk a little bit about, from your perspective, and Zoe, you can chime in on this too, a little bit about like what sort of changed from like 05, 06 to 07 and why we were able to do so well.
So you touched on it a little bit in talking about past failures. Like, we knew where we wanted to go. We also knew how good we were, and we knew how good we could be. And so going through those years, you go to, in 03 was both of our true freshman years. And so in 03, we beat Nebraska that year for the first time in like 25 years. We go to a bowl game, and we got crushed, but we made it to a bowl game. So it was kind of like, that was a step in the right direction. Well, then the next year, we were supposed to be dope. We were supposed to be it. That was supposed to be our real breakout year where we turned that corner. And then I think that was the year we went down to Troy and
Cracker Jack box.
we was playing in Movie Gallery Stadium. Nobody took the game serious. Like, half the people in the world don't even know what Movie Gallery is. Like,
nope.
Sponsored a stadium? What?
Right.
And so we went down there and got the defensive end drafted in the first round from Troy, and
O.C. Yuma.
O.C. Yuma was on that team, but
I
DeMarcus
played
Ware.
with him here in Atlanta. Oh, DeMarcus Ware. Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware.
went there,
We
too.
got him drafted off that game. And then the rest of the season was kind of up and down, and we ended up missing a bowl game. But we knew we were a good team, and we were much better than not going to a bowl game at all. So then you have the next year where, it's supposed to be our redemption year, and we go back. We end up back in the Independence Bowl, and we ended up pulling that one out. And then the next year we went to the Sun Bowl, and we lost, on the last second. I call it a bad spot. We kind of got cheated, but it shouldn't have been that close anyway. And so we just had these different years where we'd fallen short. And so guys that were seniors that year were like, listen, this is our senior year. We're not going to be the seniors who let our season go out like that. We're not going to be the seniors who are going into November with a chance to go to the Big 12 championship, and then we lose 3 out of 4 games. Like, we weren't going to do that. Right. Not only that, but as we had success over those years, we started to get better players. And we had good players on those teams before, but I mean, like, we started to get guys like Sean Weatherspoon. We started to get guys like Jeremy Maclin. We had cats like William Moore. We had a better caliber of athlete. And so having the leadership that we had in that senior class, we were able to guide those younger guys. And we had gotten rid of, when Coach Pinkel and them came in, it was a gut and remodel job. And so you had to get rid of some bad apples, and you had to get guys in leadership positions that bought into what the coaches wanted to do in their vision for the team. And we all did that. It didn't matter, if we were system men or whatever it was called. We wanted to be winning men, and that's what it took.
No, I think the same thing Ruck's saying, man. Like, as we went through a couple of things, man. I think the biggest turnaround for me probably was at the AO passing away, man. That kind of changed a lot of stuff for us, just in general. Like, put a lot of stuff in perspective for us and the coaching staff, I think. And like Ruck said, we started getting some better players, man. I mean, I say some better players, but like guys that wanted to come in and was hungry. I remember sitting down on the couch with Spoon and Pig talking about burning his red shirt for special teams. And I told Ruck, I said, man, I think this dude is crazy, man. But like, this is the kind of dudes you need. Guys is all out for the team. Anything you need to make it happen type thing, man. And I think Spoon did burn his red shirt for special teams, and then end up blocking like 5 or 6 kicks, right? Stuff like that, man. Yeah, I think he made every tackle on kickoff. But it was just guys like that just falling in line like me. Kind of, they was taking advice from us, like, we was acting like we were sage people. We just kind of decided we was going to do the opposite of what everybody else was doing and hope that worked out. So it ended up working out for us.
And another thing real quick is Coach Pinkel changed after touched on it. After AAO passed away, man, those guys changed. And, we saw that, and everybody just responded to it. We were all in it together, and that really, really helped create and solidify that family atmosphere that the team had. And that, what brings us all so close together and why we're all doing this today.
Yeah. Spoon, talk a little bit about what Zoe was talking about, like with you just want, like that mindset. It must be those Texas boys in you, you know what I'm saying? But what made you want to do that for the team? Because, Chase Kaufman and myself and a lot of other guys and Ziggy, like we all burned our red shirts and we played a little role, but like what was – like, why did you want to do that for the team? Like, what made you want to do that?
I know, Ruck said something where he was getting a different caliber of athlete. I really don't think it was the caliber of athlete. It was the mindset of the athlete. And I think with our class, we were just a little bit more deliberate. When I met Jeremy, he didn't come to summer school to do summer school. He came to Mizzou to get ready for football. He hang out with – he wasn't in classes like everybody else. So, like, that showed me the intent of him right away. And I'm like, damn, like, serious. Like, and I look around at Zoe, I look around at Pig, and me and Pig sitting on the couch. We literally, like, we about to risk it all just to be a part of what you guys had going already. And we were so eager to be a part of that. And once we got a taste of it, it all wasn't peachy, but at the same time, we just kept working. And I think, you guys kind of set that standard, the 07 class, and even before that, when with the coaching staff being the way that they were, and they had been together for so long, everybody just felt comfortable and felt like a family. And that's what made the difference on my visit. And once I got there, just being with you guys and competing, it was like, wow, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then being from Texas, and Ziggy, you can talk a little bit about this too. Like, why did you want to come up to Mizzou? Because I'm going to be honest, when Mizzou offered me, I'm like, first of all, like, who is Mizzou? Like, where are they? And Ruck, you talked about the Troy game. I had already committed that year that you guys lost national television. I'm like, I'm going to go to Mizzou, and they just got beat down by Troy. Like, I remember it like it was the back of my, like mine. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. But like, Ziggy, talk like a little bit about why you wanted to come to Mizzou all the way from Amarillo.
Oh man, I never really got recruited by the big three, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, or Texas. And so the only teams that really offered any type of scholarship was either Baylor, TCU, which TCU at the time wasn't that team until, years later. And so, Mizzou came calling, and I visit there, I got all love, with Big Brother Earl. And so I don't know if he was there at the time. CJ Mosley, he was my host.
Big Downs.
Big Downs.
But we went to was it CJ's at the time? I can't remember.
The Wingstop.
Yeah. So
Ziggy, the problem was I hadn't gained enough weight yet to move into that group yet. I was on my way.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just having that time spending on my recruiting visit, and was able to get out the state of Texas, because the state of Texas is its own country by itself. You know,
Yeah.
Chase, you know that.
Mhm.
And, you know, so just having that opportunity to go to a different area and different environment, you know, I definitely needed that.
So what's cool too is now that I'm like looking and seeing everyone on this call is that there were a lot of like some Texas guys, but there's a ton of homegrown talent here in the state of Missouri. Tony, talk a little bit about one, like why you first of all wanted to come to Mizzou, and because I know you had a bunch of offers, you know, other, but like why did you want to stay home?
I mean, I think, you know, the biggest thing was our coaching staff. Coach Finkel, we really brought into what he was trying to develop for us. And as you know, people from Texas, Florida, all around, they stayed in their home state. That's the reason why they were able to grow these programs. And so we really believed in Coach Finkel. Coach Hill, who's now a coach here with Kansas City Chiefs, he was someone that I really believed in too as well. He was down here almost every week trying to let us know that what we were trying to develop at the University of Missouri. And so, I mean, you had guys like Chase Kaufman, you got Tommy Saunders, all these guys from Kansas City. We were starting to get word that we were trying to build something powerful. And the only way we were going to do that is we were going to stick together. And so it is kind of funny that we automatically went to that route, and we still held that for the 4 years that we spent at the University of Missouri. We kept that family atmosphere. So again, I know you guys feel the same way. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Yeah,
To the University of Missouri.
No, that's great. And J-Mac, I want to throw it to you a little bit because there are a lot of homegrown talent, Kansas City, and you were one of the, you know, if not the highest recruit that the university to date, you know, had gotten. So talk a little bit about that. I know I helped recruit you, but talk a little bit about like why you wanted to stay home in the state, because you had offers from everywhere. I mean, that was, I think, maybe one of the turning points, at least in my mind, like, hey, Mizzou is like back, like we got the best people in the state of Missouri, which is something that Coach Finkel always wanted to have. We got them staying home. We got them coming to play. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. I think for starters, I think that's the most important thing. And like Tony was just saying, you know, those that Texas and those schools like that, they keep their top guys at home in state, and that's why they're able to grow those programs. But some of the same, man. When I went on my visit, so I was originally committed to Oklahoma, and I went there, and I wouldn't say that I was, you know, surprised by the how welcome I felt, but when you walk in Oklahoma and you see the trophies and you see the ring sitting on Stoops' desk and you see all these things, right? I'm like, dude, this is it. This is where I want to go. So I originally committed there, and you know, as time went on, Mizzou told me, they said, hey, I know you're committed to Oklahoma, but you know, we want you. We're going to still recruit you, but we're going to kind of back off a little bit. And when they said that, you know, I could do nothing but respect it. And as that year went on, I went to more and more Mizzou games, and just how I felt when I went there was just totally different, right? It's a family atmosphere, and that goes to you. That's Tony, that's Tommy, that's Chase, Martin, all the guys that were already there before me. That's how you guys made me feel, man. And you know, as time went on, I just couldn't resist it anymore. So I called Stoops on the phone. I'm like, hey, man, I can't go here. Like that's not where I want to be. You know, I want to go someplace else. And literally 5 days later, I committed to Missouri, and I never looked back. And I like Tony said, you know, it's probably the best decision I ever made. You know, guys that I met there, they're in my wedding. Guys that I met there, you know, godparents of my kids and stuff like that. So, you know, there's no better feeling to know that you're in a place where you feel welcome and these guys have your back. So.
Yeah, no, that's true. So we sort of hit on all these guys that were either Texas or homegrown, but Pig, for you, like it was, you know, you transferred in, like, and I just remember like seeing your stats and hearing about you and just seeing your film, like, oh my gosh, like we got a transfer that's gonna play soon and early. Like I know you had some offers too. So why did you, out of the transfer portal, sort of pick Mizzou to play at?
You know what's crazy?
Your time there too.
You know what's crazy, Chase, man? When Mizzou recruited me, they didn't even come to watch me. They came to watch our DN who committed to Michigan State. So we were at morning practice, and I want to say it was Coach Ford, but I could be wrong. They were like, yo, who is this guy? And, and our coach was like, that's my freshman year in JUCO, I really didn't play that much. I kind of got a lot of shine at the end of the season. So our head coach at the time was like, well, that's Pig Brown. He's not that fast, played a little bit and, whatever. But I was killing the morning workouts. And whoever the coach was at the time was like, I tell you what, after his first game, send me his film. So we played our first game against Sacramento City, and we sent the film off to Coach Cooley. Coach Cooley seen the film and said, don't send this film to anyone else. We're going to offer this guy today. And that's what it was. Like, they offered me, and what's crazy is a lot of people don't know this, but I was incarcerated while I was in junior college, and one of the things my head coach at the time came to me, he was like, hey, man, you got to tell these colleges that are recruiting you that you're going to be in jail for a little period of time, so you're not going to be able to go on some of these visits that they got you scheduled for. So I told Mizzou, and Mizzou they were okay with it, and I went on my visit, man. Willie Moe was my host. Hey, Willie Moe,
you had a good time.
100%.
Hey,
100%
I know
with my
you kept
recruit.
about 150 of my dollars, but we'll be on that later.
Hey,
But-
Mo said 100%.
It said, this dude's been to jail before? Put him with Willie Moe.
I remember Coach Pinker saying, I don't know what you're doing with your recruit.
Willie Moe was my host, and man, when I went down there, I met the Zoes, the Rucks, the U's, I met the guys of the program. So at that time, I was just like, man, you know what? Like, this is it. And then when I got there, man, Zoe brought me in under his wing. Still to this day, that's like my big brother. Guys like Spoon and J-Mac, them my little brothers. Me and J-Mac still best, that's one of my best friends to this day. And like you all said, it was just a family atmosphere, and I wouldn't have it any other way than.
Hey, I got a quick question, real quick, Cap. Hold up, Cap. What morning workout was you killing?
Hey, wait. This was in JUCO. This wasn't when I came into Mizzou 35.
You sure can tell a good story, boy.
You know what I'm saying? So this wasn't when I came to Mizzou.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
me believing it too.
I believe it, kid.
But like you say though, Chase, man, me and you guys and just that family atmosphere, I just wouldn't have it any other way. Like J-Mac said, there's some guys you just like a lot of people from my hometown don't even know I played at Mizzou. So when I tell them some of the guys, they be like, get out of here. And then they go do their research, they be like, oh, like he really played with them guys. It's just been a blessing, and for us to continue this and to see you guys, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, we was talking about getting a better caliber athlete or a different caliber athlete. I remember when Ziggy walked on campus, we was coming back, and he was in the morning workout group, and I never went to the morning group. I was always mad.
I say, how did you even see that group?
Yeah.
So, at the end of that workout, they was walking down the sidewalk into the old Tom Taylor. This was before we had all the new bells and whistles. And this dude had a wife beater on. And he walking down the sidewalk, and I was like, good night. We done got this huge JUCO transfer. This joke is going to be legit. It was like, who are you talking about? It's like the dude right there with them cornrows. That joke is huge. And it was like, nah, 17. Man. Yeah, that dude's 17 years old. He's an incoming freshman. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
That's when I knew Mizzou. That's when I knew Mizzou was on the move, man. When we start getting high school kids that look like Ziggy, I said, we're going to be something special, man.
Quite like 600 pounds.
We brought in Pig and Willie Moe, man, the two most hardest working, out of shape safeties you've ever seen in your life.
When I saw Pig.
But hey, you know what? Hold up, though. Willie Moe.
Yeah.
Why did we used to be jumping across each other in X's like that trying to get we was trying to get JOP points for our production point record. And you was a BS, dog. The play me over, Zoto made the tackle in the backfield. Me and Willie Moe just diving across the fire trying to get a JOP.
We got us a few points though. Right, no question.
Great time.
I was out of shape though, Zoe.
Hey, for real though. So to kind of touch on what everybody was saying, like we were super talented, man. Like you just looking at this picture right here, and this is not everybody, but I'm seeing this picture right now, and I tell Spooners all the time. When I first got to Mizzou on campus, right, and we're doing the summer workouts, I'm looking at Tommy, I'm looking at Chase, I'm looking at Brad, Ekrek, I'm looking at Will, and I'm like, yo, these dudes are legit. And then you add me, you add Denario, you add JP. Like it just like the list just kept going on, and I don't think people realize how deep we were. And then on the defensive side of the ball, there was a time where our number twos were just as good, if not better than the number ones. Like that's how deep we were on this football team, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Hey, and J-Mac, you touched on it, man. The best part about and we forget about it a lot, but we know how important it was. But our summer workouts, like if that didn't bring us together, our summer workouts and in that weight room with Coach Ivy, that battle, those 110s, that sweating. I mean, like I said, you talked about stories. I remember TP on the 110s. That man had diarrhea down his pants on those 110s. So, I mean, you talk about all the stories and how we had to – Marcus Woods used to sell peanut butter jelly sandwich feet. I mean, we stuck together, man. Those times, like, we did that, man. Like, it was powerful. I mean, I'll never forget that. Like, that's what I feel like made that team was those summers and how we bond together because there was no one on campus.
And I do say, speaking – hey, Tony Temple, I do speak on, I hate to go backwards and get a little serious, but, it was one point that, when Aaron O'Neal passed, man, and I know forget that moment because the way that team built, man, it was like going forward after he passed. I mean, it was like the whole dynamic of the thought process just changed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we was out there. It wasn't offense, defense, special team. It was really like, it was something I've never seen. I took that to the league. I always said, that when I played in Missouri, like the guys were so close. Because I mean that, like it was a time when me and T. Ruck was close. You know what I'm saying? He is tight end. I'm safety. It was a time when we was close throughout my college career. You know what I mean? And that was the tightness of the group. It didn't matter what position, none of that. I remember going to Coach C house, Coach Christian house. You know what I'm saying? Being close with him, and we had a great team, man, and it was off the field that I think most of our success came from.
Chase talked about the talent, across the board, and so did J-Mac on both sides. One of the things I'll always remember watching you guys practice on the offensive side is just the mentality every day of not allowing the ball in the passing game to ever hit the field. That was a goal every day. And there were days that happened continuously. I mean, where did that mindset come from? Chase Kaufman, where did it come from?
I think Coach Pinkel started it. Kind of to piggyback off what all these guys are saying, like everybody within the whole team bought in. Coaches, players, staff, strength staff, equipment staff, training staff, like everybody was doing the right things. And I mean, offensively, like you mentioned, I think that was just something that, it was set in meetings, Coach Hill, Coach Jones, Coach Walker, and even the linemen, like if the ball did touch the ground, we got it back. And I know you guys on defense are, trying to snatch it too. If the ball touched the ground and kick it away, kick it down the field, whatever. So you got to run and get it. But like that, I mean, that was it. Like even if it did hit the ground, right? Like you go get it before anybody gets it back, tuck it away, and run it all the way back, right? And we're gonna do it again. Yeah. And that's something. I mean, anything you do it over and over and over, it becomes a habit. And the more good habits you create, the better you get, and you just continue to set goals like that, continue to set things in place like that take over your thinking, and you have the leaders on the team doing it and holding everybody else behind them accountable. Or, if I didn't do it, Chase would hold me accountable, Ruck would hold me accountable, Tommy, any of these guys. and that's how you create the culture. And I mean, Coach Pinkel's staff and everybody bought into that. You know, it was an awesome thing.
I got something to say on that real quick, Mike. You let me say that real quick. One thing I think that's funny about that situation is that that's how Tommy Saunders got his scholarship, man. He was down there with us. Yeah, he was down there with us on scout team. Mm-hmm. Man, I never forget that Thursday, man. Tommy almost got beat up by everybody because he about to have us do the same play about 20 damn times. But he just wouldn't drop the ball, man, ever. I think that dude got so much respect from us from the defense side to starting off with, man. He would never drop the ball. Like, it don't matter where it was thrown, how it was thrown, where it was at. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. He was going to come up with that ball no matter what. You know, if somebody got an interception, he chasing the guy down trying to knock the ball out of their hand to get the ball back. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was a lot of times when Tommy almost got beat up down there on our side of the field. We was very happy to see him move to the other side of the field down there with the starter. So, we love you, Tommy.
Right. Well, that's what I see from when I look at this screen. I see guys that made plays when it counted. And how competitive everybody was, not only with their individual self and trying to accomplish and reach their PRs, but, you know, with the defense. I remember during the season, after games, I'll be like, man, I got to go on one-on-ones versus Willie Moe on Tuesday, right? Like, thinking about what route I'm going to run on Tuesday versus Willie Moe and Pig. And then I look next. I got J-Mac and Nario and JP and Will Franklin, all these guys that can take my job at any moment, you know? And I think that is when you look at our team, is how competitive we were, not only against ourselves, against defense, our teammates, against the offense, and we just held ourselves to such a high standard all across the board. I remember, Chase, you would meet with coaches about scoring on Tuesday when we have a game on Saturday about winning, you know, 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 periods, right? Like, we were just so competitive all across the board, but yet we still had a family atmosphere when we got back in the locker room.
We had to get on this. We knew y'all was cheating, though. We knew y'all was cheating.
The battle for the black jerseys.
Always.
The battle for the black jerseys.
The
battle for the black jerseys.
Hey, Willie Moe, you remember we had to whoop Chase Kaufman that one day?
You remember? I remember.
Chase Kaufman coming down the scene. Chase Kaufman coming down the scene. Willie Moe lit his ass up. Chase trying to fight. Chase trying to get up and fight. We had to run.
You remember that?
Up, like Chase Daniel said, that's just the family atmosphere that we had. No matter what happened on the field, when we got in that locker room, we just laughed about it and we went on to the next day. We laughed about it, ate dinner together, and we got ready for the next day.
Well, and that was the other thing is like we was playing against the best people in the conference in practice.
Right, there you go.
Like,
I remember having a team meeting. Coach Pinkel had one day we had I don't know what it was, but we was going third. We was going third, like basically live. And T. Ruck caught a pass.
Yeah, basically.
T. Ruck caught a pass. Listen, T. Ruck caught a pass. I brought everything I had on this play. I mean everything. I hit him right, boom, and he didn't even hit the ground. We both like literally just stood up, like two brick walls hitting. And I remember Coach Pinkel playing it in the team meeting room. He said, you have one of the best tight ends and one of the best safeties in the country, and they're competing every day like they're working for a job. And I was just like, I had broke my neck on that play, but it was still like, you know, just competitiveness, man. You are one of the best tight ends in the country. We out there going, I'm talking about hitting like it's a full game. You know what I'm saying? So we had a team full of
I remember having some full conversations with some people before the season started in 07. It was like, man, I don't know if we can play defense at all, man. We suck. We getting roasted every day in practice. These dudes is wearing us out. And I think that at the time we didn't realize that we was playing against the best offense in the country. So
correct,
right. Playing against everybody else.
We had about
it was so easy.
We was going against about 6-7 All-Americans.
Every day.
They made us better every day.
Hey, we all Americans, baby. We all Americans in here now.
Well, you know,
I got stepped on by Tony Temple.
And a lot of people ask me, how was it guarding Crabtree? You know, when we played Texas Tech, man, before we played them, Crabtree was averaging like 100 and
right. I remember
plus yards
a
game.
Right. He was like,
you know, Willie Moe got hurt. Willie Moe got hurt. I had to move down to the nipple. I may have held Crabtree to like 70-some yards, and people would ask me all the time, like, how you did it? I'm like, man, that's
right.
But listen, Mo, it was so easy because I'm going against T-Rock, Hoffman, J-Mac, Denario, Tommy.
Right.
So it was like, this this so well, I ain't gonna
Right.
say it on here, but
I'm with you.
you
yeah.
know, like he wasn't what I was going up against every day. So when it got out there,
Correct.
it made it so much easier because you was going against all Americans and first
Right.
round and draft picks every single day. And a lot of people don't realize that, man. Like our practices were like games.
Yeah, and I think
Well,
the biggest
They
thing
was.
is what a lot of people in this room is saying right now is just the thing that separated us and made us the best was the competitiveness in practice. Like we didn't take practice off. We were going against. I mean, listen, it was a battle in practice. Like just to hit on what all you guys were saying, going against the defense. I mean, you're going against All-American safeties. You're going against corners. I mean, D line is rushing in your face, like hitting your hand, and you're getting hit. Like I don't, I don't think people understand like how easy my job was with the offense that we had. Like in our O lines, like giving me like 3-4 seconds to throw the ball. And I mean, you guys are like on offense. I mean, you guys are catching everything. Tony's out there running for 300 in the Cotton Bowl, you know, and I feel like we just made each other better in practice. Like that was one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people don't understand. And like you said, Zoe, like one of the first things I ever saw going to Mizzou was the work ethic of Tommy Saunders, and just saw him like consistently working. And I'm like, man, like I thought my work ethic was like good. It's just different. Like you were never, ever going to outwork him.
Hey, I got a story, right? So we get the summer workouts, right? Summer workouts. I'm fresh on campus, right? First day, we got PTs. Okay.
Oh,
got PTs first day. I don't know who told me this, but all they said was, listen, don't try to keep up with Tommy. Don't try to keep up with Jason Ray. So, I'm trying to make an impression, right? I'm trying to get it, right? First PT, I come out, I'm stride for stride with him, right? Stride for stride with him. Second one, I'm still there. I'm about a man back. The third one, I'm about middle of the pack. The last two, I was dead last. Couldn't do it no more, man. Them boys work, man. And that inspired me, though, man.
Is that I had to run full speed on every single sprint that we ever had. I can't not run full speed. I'm not coasting that ever.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I'll tell
Chase
you.
Daniel.
Jay, I was going to say, go ahead, Pig. I was going to say, Chase, I love, I mean, it's one part that we have to talk about. I think as we go about the pass, especially, Ruck, Zoe, I mean, a lot of the wide receivers, Tommy, there was a time where we had the Brad Smith era and then we moved into Chase. And that was a really tough time for Mizzou. We had no idea where we were going to go. So we did have this transition, but that transition of now bringing Chase in and changing the game of what we were going to be, whether it's going to be a run team or passing, we didn't even have an identity at that time. But that confidence and swag, that is something we have to talk about, because that was one thing that this Mizzou team had. And to be honest with you, I remember sitting with Tommy Saunders in the 50-yard line. I remember Chase Day, it was like his second week on campus. And he's sitting there at the 50-yard line. I'm really talking shit to Chase. I was talking crazy to Chase. I was like, Chase, I want to see if you can throw this ball and hit Tommy in his hand. And Tommy's got his truck, got his Silverado at the end of the 50-yard line. Chase is at the 50-yard line. And I promise you, Chase takes 2 steps and hits Tommy right in his hands. And I remember looking over like, man, we got something special here. But that confidence right there was like everything for Mizzou. That swag we had that 07 year, woo.
Chase, Chase Daniel, I don't know. Man, if we would catch a pick on you in practice, me and Willie Moe would sit in the film room and watch. I'm like, we just like, damn, we picked his ass off.
You guys got lucky. That's right.
Hey, we were sitting there like, yeah, we got his ass today. We would watch it about 10, 15 times. Like, oh,
had to.
Got it.
Hey, man.
That was the thing, too. Like, you talk about that stuff. What you said earlier about popping me in the middle of the field in practice, it's like we all got back up, and it's like, no, like, okay, come back and do it again next play, right? Like, whether it was offense or defense, everybody is like, you know what? Like, no, we're not going to take that. I'm going to show you that I'm better than you.
Because we knew y'all was cheating.
I mean, you guys get a pick, you guys get a fumble, you guys, pop Tony after the play or late, whatever. It's like, all right, like, let's go, Ruck. Come on, let's go show them what's up. Like, they're not going to mess with their guys.
So we was chilling today, and y'all want to play some ball. Okay, now we got to play. Now we got to play. We tired. We chilling. Now we got to go play for real. Come on.
I used to come back to line of scrimmage talking to Will. Man, Willie Moore out there holding me, man. He holding me, man. God dang, he holding me, man. Hot.
Because y'all was cheating, dog. Hey, listen, every practice we were scoring, it was some cheating going on, bro. The score was so lopsided. Offense got 25 opportunities to score points. We can only score 2 times. If we get y'all off the field or we get their interception.
I just can't believe we didn't win it that year, man. Even though I got hurt, and I know that put a dent. I know that put a dent in the defense just a tad bit, but the way we prepared back there, though, like even with Willie Moore back there, like it was pretty much the same player. And I just, with all this talent that we had, man, and for us not to win it, man, it's when you look back on it, it's crazy, man.
If you can't fake that injury, we would have won the national championship, man. If you hadn't faked that injury, we'd all have rings right now.
We had our formation.
Let's talk though about what you did accomplish. Let's take a moment and talk about what you did accomplish because it's pretty special.
Yeah.
12 victories, highest season-ending ranking in school history, first ever Big 12 North title, #1 ranking at Missouri for the first time in 50 years, New Year's Day bowl game, first appearance since 1966, 2 consensus All-Americans, a guy that represented the school by going to New York, and as Chad Moeller knows, also Orlando, because he enjoyed himself in both of those places for the Heisman and All-American awards. But it all started, and Pig, let's touch, and J-Mac, let's talk about Illinois and opening the season in St. Louis in the Dome. Pig, you had a game that Missouri fans will remember for the rest of their lives.
You know what, Mike, man? I can't take the credit for any of that if it wasn't for my teammates. Like, I'm just specifically talking about the guys with Ziggy and Zoe getting pressure. You got Spoon with getting great drops at the linebacker spot. You got Willie Moore back there. Even if I do slip up, I know for a fact Willie Moore on the other side of the field, he's going to migrate all the way over to help me out. So without those guys, I don't think that I would have did any of that. I just really feel like I was in the right place at the right time, and like you said, man, the rest is history. With everything the offense was doing, with what the special teams was doing, it was just crazy, and we really didn't know who we were at the time. Like we had a great summer. Yeah, well, a great summer don't mean anything until you play against somebody else, because you can't take your teammate head off like you can take somebody else's head off. So we really didn't know who we were. So we went out there, we were just playing for each other. Things got tough, and we just came to the sideline. Nobody was really mad, which is crazy. Like, nobody was really mad that whole game. It was just like, all right, so we just gonna let this go down like this. We just gonna let them come back. Well, so it was just all, it was all jokes and challenging each other. We just went out and made plays. But if it wasn't for the rest of those guys, none of that would ever happen.
You had 3 takeaways on the day. That's what I remember. But most importantly, let's talk about how gassed you were trying to score that touchdown. I just remember watching you like, he's not gonna make it. There's no way.
But 103 yards or something.
To everybody that's watching, if I must say, I can admit this now, but I'm probably one of the worst conditioned athletes you'll ever meet. I didn't even have a draft grade my junior year, and I tried to enter my name in the draft just because I didn't want to go back and work out. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is I knew I had to score that touchdown, because if I would have came to the sideline and got caught, y'all was gonna kill me.
Oh yeah. Hey, but listen, Cap,
I had to score. I had to score.
Cap, you remember what you said to me when we came out the field? We were sitting in a little circle for like 2 seconds. I said, Cap, man, hey, you all right? He's like, bro, no. I'm tired of sitting. I said, Cap, come on, man. I need you for 2 plays right here, man. Let's go. These are 2 things.
Hey, no, don't touch me. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to get ready.
He don't want to get no handshakes, no high fives, nothing.
And that was J-Max. Welcome to NCAA college game. J-Max, talk about like your hometown and the first game you ever played. I mean, electric. Like, what was that atmosphere like for you? I'm sure you had 100, 200 family members.
Man,
there.
it was something I was clearly looking forward to. I had high hopes. Coming in as a freshman, I wanted to play, man. That's every freshman's dream, right? To play as the truth, right? Hey, I'm playing as a truth. That's feeling like you accomplished something, So I wanted to do that. Unfortunately, I go down to summer workouts. I tore my ACL, and with the help of y'all and the training staff and the coaches and my family, I was able to rehab and come back even better than what I was, right? So what a lot of people don't remember on, that first game, my first touch, I fumbled the reverse. Picked it up, and then I ran for like 30 yards.
I don't remember.
And after that, it was kind of like, all right, I can do this. I got this.
Yeah.
And then the rest is kind of just a blur, man. I was just playing football at the time.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, like, having played on the teams that we had in the past, like, we had to do everything on offense, or we had to do it on defense. So when we had this cat come in that could score on special teams,
it was great.
Take some of the pressure off. It was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it was dope.
I remember thinking to myself the whole time leading up to that game, like we had a great summer. We had a really, really good camp that year. Fall camp was great, man. I think that was one of the few times we made it through without somebody like getting seriously injured in fall camp or something like that while we was there. So I remember thinking the whole time during that game, like, man, like, do we got it or don't we got it? Like, do we got it? Like, maybe it's kind of like a back and forth thing. Like, let's try to keep this up. You know what I mean? And see what happens. You know what I mean? I just like you said, we didn't really know who we was yet. You know what I mean? We kind of figured that we would be all right. We knew that we was pretty good, in practice against each other, but we hadn't tested that against somebody else yet. So, I mean, it was very interesting to see the change and the like how the things went down. Like, I know we're probably gonna get to this, but it's a couple people don't know. We gave up like 248 to the backup running back at Illinois State. You know what I mean? Coach E flipped the table, hit me in the eye with a marker and stuff. You know what I mean? But it was like it was a lot of figuring out.
Well, for sure. Well, that's a good transition, Zoe, to next week, because the next week, September 8th, we go down to SEC school Ole Miss. So I don't know who was making the schedule, but Illinois and then at an SEC school. Now, granted, we had beat them in a close game in 06 at home, but
right.
To go down there, and I mean, offensively, we put up fireworks that game. Tony Temple ran for 123, Will Franklin 105 and 2 tutties. We threw for over 300. The defense lights out. I think they got some garbage time points. Chase Kaufman caught a touchdown. I mean, talk about that game, especially being like your first road, right? SEC, you hear about that. And obviously now we're in the SEC, but talk about like just the thought on that, like going down there and playing in that type of environment.
I think my big thing I remember from that was just the biggest thing I remember from that was coming out of that game. I felt like at that point I was like, man, our offense is good, like really good. Like I was like, we all right on defense. We're going to be able to hold this thing together. But, man, them dudes going to score a lot of points, man. Like, I kind of seen at that time was like, man, it was some stuff y'all was doing. And I'm like, man, why is people running wide open? That was me. That was my introduction to what being started as the J-Mac rule. When you go sit down on the sideline for 2 seconds, like the kickoff happens, you turn around, you sit for 2 seconds, the next thing you know, the whistle's blowing, the cannon's shooting off. We ain't even had time to get a damn drink yet. Yeah, that's when we started that deal. So defensive-wise, man, we just felt like if we could just get the ball back to y'all as fast as we could, man, at least we might have a chance to get some water because y'all scored too fast. That's all I remember about that whole situation.
Hey, let's advance it just a little bit because you go down and you win at Ole Miss and then come home, beat Western Michigan and Illinois State. Now you've moved into the top 20. You're 4-0. You've got a week off. And, T. Rucker, who's coming to town next after that bye week?
Nebraska.
Hey, wait, Mike Kelly, hold up a second, because I'm about to tell you something about T-Ruck, man. T-Ruck left me out to dry. These dudes sent me into the office and asked Coach Pinkel, can we stop practicing so hard? And Ruck just sit there and let it happen. Coach Pinkel wore me out, man. He wore me out. It was like, remember that? Cap, don't look like that like you don't remember that. Y'all like, all right, so you go ahead and say it, man. Like, you say it. because he was like, hey, what can we do to help us get better? Like, you need to start practicing.
Ease up.
But one thing I never did, Cap, I never listened to T-Ruck going into those captains meetings. Never. Like
Ruck set me up, dog.
Because one thing about T-Ruck, you can never gauge his seriousness. So I'm just like, stop practicing so hard. You want us to tell this to the head coach? I ain't with it.
Hey, so they left me out of drop, but that was the first week of our not practice so hard experiment. We backed out and practiced a little bit, and man, I think that changed the game right there, man. Because we were so fresh. I remember warming up in that game. I ain't never felt that good before in my life. Like I feel awesome right now, man. It was great. But
that was another thing, right? Was that Spoon touched on was how mentally tough our team was. Like in the past, we couldn't let up on practice because we wouldn't perform on Saturdays, and so at that time, we had the talent. But we also had the mindset as a team that we still had to take care of business. And so being fresh for us was okay. Like that was what we needed. You know what I mean? We had high caliber athletes. You know, we had the crazy summer before and all that. And so, you know, we were ready to take that next step. It was more of you look at this screen right here. Everybody here spent a little bit of time in the NFL. And so we were an NFL caliber team. I mean, it was a little early, but like that's how we felt we needed to be treated, not like an NFL caliber team, but we needed to let up. And that's how you practice in the NFL. You don't run your guys into the ground. And that's what had happened in the past. And so, you know, we were ready for that. And Coach Pinko, I think, understood that. And he very reluctantly, he eased into it. But he did, though. And he gave us we had, and those who win, get Victory Sunday. Absolutely.
Sunday.
Oh,
yeah,
Victory Sunday.
I mean,
That was
just
the
changed
best
the game.
thing. That was the best thing that our senior class came up with, that Victory Sunday, baby.
Absolutely did. So you were able to get your body fresh. You were able to mentally relax and recharge and come back more focused and ready to go.
Yeah, hey, Ruck, I take that ass to him for y'all to get there. Y'all welcome. You know what I mean?
Man, we appreciate it. Somebody had to sacrifice, man. Somebody had to sacrifice.
He ripped you a new one, Cap.
Man, kill me, man. And then, hey, you remember the meeting on that Monday right before we played Nebraska? He's like, all right, guys, I got a great idea. That's what we're going to start doing. We're going to have starters practice. Hey, Tony Tip up there, hitting my leg, talking about, it's his idea. Like, come on, bro. Don't be like that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Rucker, 13 minutes to go in this game. You're blowing out Nebraska. Fake field goal.
Fourth greatest moment of my life. Marriage, kids, you know, the whole deal. But to be up on those guys right there, and they call that number. So me and Tommy, you know, we had a nice little friendly rivalry in high school. And it was still there when he got to Mizzou at first, and then we kind of settled that thing out and it was good. But so for me them to call that number to me and Tommy to be the one to pitch me the ball, you know, the Northwest Mo connection. And then I rounded that corner and the sea just parted. And so I look and I see the only thing standing between me and the goal line is Bo Rude. And so I used to go to Nebraska camp every summer. And Bo Rude, they used to do this performance index thing, and it was your squat and your vertical and all these things that don't really matter once you step between the lines, right? And so he was always the guy that was at the top of that list, and he got offered, you know, before I did from Nebraska and all these things. And so we're up on these cats, blowing them smooth out. Fans are doing the wave, the band's playing, everybody's having a good time. Smoke's still in the air from the last touchdown we scored. We about to go to Big 12, you know what I mean? It's like we're about to get down. And this dude who has been showing me up at camp and had an offer before me is the only thing standing between me and the goal line of an even bigger blowout than we got going on right now. My eyes were just this big, and I was just slobbering at the mouth. I couldn't believe it that God allowed this moment to happen for me.
I tell you, the game changing moment though, Mike Kelly. Game changing moment in the whole situation, man, was Maurice Purify tried to go up that seam. Man, that boy helmet ended up about 10 yards away from where he was standing. I loved it. Loved it, Cap. Loved it. No!
Yeah, I would have got in today's game. I would have been out for a game.
Oh, you was gone. Hey, you was gone.
No
He's gonna get escorted to the
I
locker
would have
room.
been gone.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
And just go back to that Ole Miss stuff real quick. So when we played them when they came to Columbia, Patrick Willis was on that team.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was an all-pro linebacker, right? But I remember when we walked out on the field and we saw they had Russell jerseys on. Like, we was wearing Nike and they had Russell uniforms on. And we all looked at each other and we was like, these cats got Russell uniforms on. What are they doing here? So when we went back down to Ole Miss that year, I think they finally had Nike on, but like we didn't even have a question that we was gonna go in there and blow them boys out. They was wearing Russell jerseys on. Not practice. This was the game uniform.
It was almost like a trap down there though, because they had a DJ, they had a whole party, they had Grove was lit. I was like, this is different. I know a lot of Mizzou fans that travel now, they go to the Grove for that game.
Yeah.
Just got to get back in there. It's been a while. So let's talk a little bit about Texas Tech. Graham Harrell, town. From a defensive standpoint, Willie Moe, you hold them to literally, I think it was 40 points less than they were averaging coming into the game and less than 200 yards of total offense than what they were averaging. What was the mindset facing Graham Harrell?
I think we was in nickel that whole game. Because they had so much speed. I don't remember the back, but they had a pretty good running back at the time too. But we went out there. I think that game was more about speed. I remember that Coach E was consistently saying this is a fast team. The quarterback is slinging the ball, and his comparison was none other than our quarterback, Chase Daniels. You know what I mean? So that was a thing. Like our whole mindset was we're not going to let them put up as many points as we put up. Everybody thought it was going to be like a shootout, a 40-40 game, or you know what I mean, something like that. So we went out there and dominated, man, and that was just the beginning of what we started to do.
That was a statement game.
I want to add in on that. I mean, like you guys just kept pounding people though. Like you talk about, Maurice Purify's helmet 10 yards away from where he was. Like you all just kept just like bringing it, one play after another. And I mean, as many guys as we had on our offense, not nobody else had that in the league. Like in the people that we played, nobody else had that. So you keep pounding the 3 or 4 guys that they got, like, man, they're gonna quit.
I just remember for me personally, like that game, seeing from the sideline, like what you guys were able to do defensively. Like I knew we were pretty good. I think we were, that was right after the Oklahoma loss, and I think we were somewhere in the team. But like when I saw that performance defensively, like I'm like, first of all, I know we're gonna put up 30 to 40 a game, but what you guys were able to do to Graham defensively. I mean, Stryker getting a pick 6. I mean, mostly like all you guys were out there flying around. Like, I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it because that's when I was like, we have a super special team.
Yo,
like,
seriously.
I mean, it was just like, oh my God, because that offense,
I thought
we made Sports Illustrated that game. I think in the spread, I think they were talking about it. So it definitely was one of those statement games. And the year before, I think Mo and Ziggy had a pick 6 on Graham Harrell. So to me, he was already burnt. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, we just knew, like, yeah, they got some heat and they're a top 10 caliber team or whatever. But we was just ready for that action, boss. We
don't say that, man. Chill out.
Big, bro.
Chill out, man.
Chase, I thought it was the week before, man, when we're holding a 1-point lead in Norman. You know what I mean? I thought that's when I knew that. I thought that's when I knew that we were legit. I mean, clearly you always gonna think you're legit, right?
Right.
But OU was OU, and we went to Norman and we were playing them. We're up in the 4th quarter or late in the 3rd, one of the two, and I thought that's when I really thought that we had a good chance of doing what we wanted to do and win the national championship.
Well, they hadn't cheated us on that onside kick coming out of halftime in Norman too. The game might have been different because the ball went 10 yards. We should have recovered that thing.
I know, man. I think after that Norman game, I think that was when the same thing happened the year before. We got to OU, we got beat, and the attitude in the locker room kind of changed a little bit in a negative way. You know what I mean? I think that was, as I was walking back to the locker room after that game, I was thinking, man, we can't let the attitude change because we just lost this game. You know what I mean? And I remember Coach Pinkel telling us after that game, he's like, man, I've never done this before. You know what I mean? I'm never going to do this again. He's like, but I tell you guys what, like, if y'all want a chance to have a special team this year, we can't lose no more games for the rest of the year. And I was like, damn, man, I can't believe he just said that, man. Like, he don't never talk about the future. Like, it's always one game at a time. It's always like, one play at a time. One snap at a time. It's always that. But when he said that, I was like, all right, man, this dude got a lot of trust in us and believe in us for us to, to get back, you know what I mean, and come back and make this thing happen. So I think Texas Tech just caught us at the wrong time, man. Like, I think, you know, we was out there eating on defense. It was just a bad time for those guys.
It was like third and 41 one time or something.
Boom. Do you remember we playing Texas Tech? They going on the drive. They probably on like a 10+ play drive.
Oh yeah,
I catch the pick, and they strip it from behind me. I'm arguing at a ref. I look at you. I say, Spoon, I'm about to call a timeout, dog. I say, Spoon. I say, dog, I'm not. I say, Spoon, I'm not about to go back on defense. I say, Spoon, Spoon looked in my eye and say, hey, boy, don't you call him. Spoon looked at me and say, hey, boy, you better call him timeout. I say, Spoon, I got to, bro. I'm too tired.
Amazing, bro. I've seen defenders call timeout.
We held off, though.
Yeah, we did. But I've seen defenders call timeouts, but not at Missouri or not any team I've been a part of. Defense don't get no timeouts.
No timeouts for defense.
Oh, man.
The one thing I remember about the Texas Tech game was
he had 75 production points that game, bro. It's ridiculous.
Texas Tech game. They had Danny Amendola.
Yes.
Y'all remember Amendola?
I think I had 77 production points.
Yeah.
Played in
I
Dallas
think I still got the record.
Amendola's still playing ball.
They had Amendola on returning punts.
He the one who strip pig. Strip pig after
I believe he did too.
I think I still got the record. After Spoon and Willie Moe and y'all had some great. I thought Willie Moe was gonna break my record against Arkansas, but he didn't.
Oh, the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh.
We ain't there yet, man. You can't skip ahead 5 games, pig. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm just saying though. But I just still got the record. Y'all said Smitty had the best defensive game, so I guess Big Brown hold it down.
Well, if you hadn't faked that injury, you might have broke your own record.
So let's move forward. Let's move forward to the.
Hey, let's move forward.
Let's move forward to the November 3rd game at Colorado. Mizzou had not won in Boulder since '97, and if I remember correctly, Chase Kaufman, you should just talk about the entire game because hurdles, 3 touchdowns,
One-handed catch in the back of the end zone. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro! Talk about that and just what it meant to win in Boulder, Chase.
Hey, Chase Kaufman. Before you start talking this, let me say this: how many points did Colorado score?
10. 10 in 2 years.
Now Chase Kaufman, you talk about the whole game now. After they scored 10 points. Chase Kaufman, you talk about the whole game. Let's go. Here we go.
We're gonna get to the defense.
Man, guys are just making plays all over. And for some reason, they just didn't want to tackle me that game. Like, I'll look at a couple just replays, highlights, or whatever, and I mean, it was a couple small passes, short passes, and I'm like, how did that guy not tackle me? How did that guy not tackle? Like it wasn't like I was making moves on him or nothing until that hurdle, and then I just went up and kind of spun around.
It was a horrible throw, but the biggest thing for you, Chase, is you actually passed Justin Gage in career touchdown receptions at Mizzou that game. So that's why, Zoe, I wanted to talk a little about this.
Hey, listen, y'all special, man.
But what's crazy about the defense, this is a crazy stat, and Mike sent me some notes. The crazy thing about the defense that game, during the second and third quarters, Mizzou offense had 16 first downs. CU, Colorado, had two first downs during the second and third quarters. So there's your defensive strategy. That's like what? Like usually they get them on a drive, like one drive. 2 full quarters, which college quarters last forever, by the way. Like multiple possessions. Like that to me was like.
Hey, Mike, you might be able to confirm this, but I think after we gave up 10, we scored 55 straight on Colorado, right? And then the next year beat them 58-0, right?
Yes.
We scored 113 straight points.
Bro, you know what they did, though, during the game, Mac. Y'all was kicking their butt so bad. We was doing so great on defense. They showed some old highlights from, like, years ago.
They showed the fifth down.
Bro, they had to find something to put it on the Jumbotron out there.
But the thing was, the last time we was in Boulder, we got drugged.
Real. We got drove, dog.
And Lawrence Vickers was on the big screen with sunglasses on doing all this. Man, when we got back in that place, boy, we was about to drive them boys through the mountain.
Hey, T-Row, what's crazy is I watched that game when I was in JUCO.
Oh, man. I'm
That
glad
was
you
one of
came.
the games I watched while I was getting recruited by Mizzou.
I'm glad you went ahead and came. Because, man, that game was bad, boy. But we couldn't wait to get back there.
Yeah.
Made a statement.
So
Hey,
November
Ziggy,
10th.
let's talk a little bit about that second and third quarter, though, because, you know, you mentioned the difference in first downs. Chase talked about that. But it was a competitive game. And then the defense just took over. 7 consecutive 3-and-outs is what you guys held Colorado to, and then the offense just eventually just blew them out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we got to do, Mike. All we got to do is just hold up a little while till our guys get going. It usually don't take that long. You know, it took them 10 points. Usually don't take that long. But like I said, man, like going back to that Ole Miss game, I knew, man, like if you start looking at the amount of guys on offense that can touch the ball and go 80 yards for a touchdown, it's basically everybody. Like, I think their offensive line probably could have picked up a fumble and took it 60. You know what I mean? Like, everybody on that offense is special, man. So it's just a matter of time we always just say, just take Chase a little time to figure out what they're trying to do. As soon as he figure out what they're trying to do, it's over with. And I mean, that's basically how every one of our games went. Like, if it was early, if he figured it out early, it was going to be really bad. If he figured it out late, it was going to be really bad. I mean, that's pretty much what we just kind of did we could, try to get out 3 turnovers a game, get some sacks, you know what I mean, look good for a little while, and then all of a sudden, you know, these guys just take over and make it happen, man. Me and Ziggy had a lot of fun out there just talking crap, trying to see if we get to the quarterback first, man. Like, that's what we did. But we got a lot of hits on guys, but like I said, it was just a matter of time, man, before they figured it out. And when our guys figured it out, it got real dangerous real quick for the other team.
So November the 10th, you play Senior Day at home. Final game at Faroe for the seniors. You beat A&M 40-26. Then you go to K-State, first win in Manhattan since 1989, 49-32. You improved to 10-1 on the season, 6-1 in the Big 12. And then you know what's up next. Heading to Kansas City to close this regular season, claim a title against Kansas. Talk about the lead up to that week prior to playing at Arrowhead, Chase, or Tommy Saunders. Why don't you jump in?
I remember going to a Tuesday night meeting, and 3 guys popped up behind a car. I was walking right behind Chase. We were talking, and 3 guys popped up behind the car asking Chase for his autograph, taking pictures. And then a couple, I think it was like an hour later, up on eBay for sale for a couple $100. Like, the atmosphere around that week leading up, it was like we've never seen anything like it. The amount of people around the facilities on campus, like, you know, I know everybody, all these guys are asking for autographs. Like, I'm getting people come up during class asking for autographs, you know, like it was just crazy all around the town, the city, and then being able to go back to Kansas City. I know Brock and Chase and Tony can speak to that. Just being able to go back to Kansas City, playing, felt like in front of, you know, everybody you know. I was actually had a meeting last week, and this guy talked to me for an hour about the game and how his dad punched this KU fan in the face during during halftime, and he threw a beer. Like, it was just crazy. I think everybody from Kansas City that enjoy the rivalry, I mean, that's a time they'll never forget.
Yeah, I think that whole thing started after the K-State game too, when the K-State fans was cheering BKU.
Yeah,
that was crazy, man.
That was pretty cool.
Yo, remember how fast we got home from Kansas State, though?
Right. It took us like 2 seconds
so fast, though.
But man, yeah, I think I think it's a lot of things, like, you know, the media day. Like, just think about media day. That the media day and the senior meeting that day, like our captain's meeting that day was just something crazy. It was just a lot. It was like, it's so many amplified things. Like, everything was times 10 in that whole deal. You know what I mean? So, hey, I don't know if y'all know this, man. It's Coach Pickle's birthday, man. We got Coach Pickle just texted me, man. It's Coach Pickle's birthday. Got shout out on Coach Pickle's birthday. But yeah,
Happy
birthday to the GOAT, baby.
Happy birthday to the GOAT.
Happy birthday, Coach.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it was just a lot of stuff, man. That was amplified times 10 that week, man. That the media day was crazy. It was. I've never been to media day I get interviewed all the time, but we didn't leave. I don't think me and Ruck left media day until it was like damn near 12 o'clock at night. It was like 11:30 when we was leaving. We was there all night long, man. It was crazy how many people. I remember me and Tony Tippett did a radio show. So we did a whole radio show during media day. Like it was so much crazy stuff going on that week, man. It was weird, man. It was fun.
It's crazy to hear you guys talk about all the mayhem, and then I don't even remember until like going into the stadium and then seeing like.
Wait. Boom. You don't remember jumping into that cake?
Cake, bro.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't, bro.
So hey, this is like a story. I don't know if very many people know this, but somebody delivered an ice cream cake to me right before our team meeting that Friday night. Y'all remember that? The ice cream cake, no. We put it on the plate. You broke the plate, Spoon.
Oh my God, bro! You know I was crazy. Oh no, bro! I don't remember, bro.
You still crazy,
right?
You gotta be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of stuff going on, man. Yeah.
I didn't know how intense the rivalry really was, right? You hear people talk about it. But you don't really know, like Spoon just said, I didn't really know the magnitude of what was about to happen until we were driving into the stadium and to see the parking lot filled. And then when you walk out the tunnel for the game to see that stadium and half and going one half of the field, you can't hear nothing because they booing you. The other half of the field, you can't hear nothing because they're cheering for you. Like, it was crazy. Like, I've never been a part of anything. Like, even the next year, it wasn't like that. That was ridiculous.
Tony, hey, Tony, you remember when they was playing Soulja Boy for the game in the warm-up? Tony jumping on me at the Soulja Boy. Every time I hear that Soulja Boy song, I think about that day, man. It's crazy.
That was our anthem, man. And you think about Kansas City, and I know a lot of you Kansas City boys got that, but we were getting phone calls all week. And I mean, we know that we have to win that game in Kansas City, or that whole year is not going to be the same for us. And so it was so much pride for that game for a lot of people from Kansas City, but it was just so amazing to see how attached they were to us. And we know that was powerful because, I mean, we still talk about that game. There's people that will remember that game forever. So, man, it was an awesome ride.
For me, it was sorry, Zoe.
No, you good.
For me, it was like when people talk about, and J-Mac sort of hit on it, like I didn't realize the magnitude of the rivalry. Like I was told, I think from like T, like when I came in, like, just hate KU, just do it. Like that's just how I'm like, all right, like
me too, Jay.
I hate KU, yeah. But like, when I still hear people talking about it 13, 14 years later, like that type of magnitude and that type of game, it's like one of those legacy games, right? But like, I would say, and you guys can obviously jump in, like during the week though of that game, it felt like a normal week. It felt like there was no added pressure. And I think, and I had Coach Pinkel on Chase Chats, I think last week or the week before, and he talked about it, like he didn't put extra pressure on us because it was just the next game, and it was the biggest game because it was the next game. However, when you look back on it, the implications that game had, right? Like I remember sitting in my room with Chase Patton, who I roomed with, and we were watching college football because it was a night game, and LSU had just gotten upset.
Yep.
At
home or something.
Arkansas.
Like
Arkansas, yeah.
Arkansas. Yes. Earlier in the day before we played.
Yes. That was early. So everybody knew it. No one really talked about it, but like, hey, the winner of this game, they're going to be number one.
Right.
And it was like, I just remember like, man, it was one of those things where it was our night. And
I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that everybody on this chat right now had like a huge play in that game. Like everybody who's on this chat right now had a huge play in that game.
But
it was great, man.
Maybe my play was like saying close right or close left because I never had a good game against Kansas, dog.
But Chase, I mean, I think
I was on practice.
One of the things about not
leading cat.
Like, I think that plays into the rivalry. Like, it doesn't matter if KU is number one in the nation or they're undefeated. Like, they're not good. They never were good. They can never beat us. There's so
Kansas.
That's how I felt, man. Like I'm playing that game.
That's real.
I'm playing that game. I'm like, yo, these dudes ain't that good. Like, get out of here. Number 2 in the nation. Like, get out of here. Like,
right.
It was like Like that's how you feel about them, though.
And that's how it was, though. And we jumped out to the lead.
There's no way they can beat you. So I don't think there was pressure. If we were playing somebody else, maybe we would have felt the pressure, but it was just like, oh, it's KU. We're going to go dominate them.
I can remember, like, 'cause the week was, we had the simulated crowd noise in the stadium and all that stuff. Like, it was regular game week. But I can remember we got out on the field and when the game started, and I think we both went 3 and out, and then we scored, and then we just started kind of piling it on. And I can remember thinking, like, because we knew they hadn't played anybody all year long anyway. So it was like the reason they were in this position they were in was because they didn't have the schedule we did and all that stuff. And so once we got up on them, I can remember thinking, like, yeah, this is the same old KU that we always play. Like, these cats suck. You know what I mean? I was sitting over there on the heated benches because it was cold outside. And I was like, thank goodness these benches is warm. Now let's get up out of here so we can go to Big 12 and party when we get back to Columbia and get up out of here. And then it got to, like, the fourth quarter of the game. It still started getting a little closer. And I was like, hey, man, what is the defense doing? We was just up by like 20 points. Like, we're about to go party. What are you guys doing right now? It's warm here. I'm not trying to get up and go back. Like, what are you doing? And,
you so much that game, bro.
It was so nice, though, like, to have Denario Alexander back, because Denario made some big plays, and he had been gone. And so he took a lot of the pressure off because one of the plays, Chase was scrambling around like 15 yards back behind, and all of a sudden, Denario just popped out of nowhere. Nobody had seen him since summer conditioning. You're like, wait a minute. This dude's on the team? Yes. Like, this dude is good.
And Willie Moe cussing me out because JG messing up.
Right. Because Striker was cussing everybody out.
Don't get me started on JG.
Striker said, what's he doing? Teach him.
Like, what you mad at me for? I'm on cussing. What you cussing at me for? I ain't playing.
Because coach assigned you to vocally lead him the whole season, and you did it.
Hey, what I'm traveling for, huh, Willie Moore, if I can't leave?
Right.
Hey, you the only person that ever get a travel hurt. You should be a leader, man. What's on you?
I know I had two vocally loud leaders my whole entire football career since I've ever played, and that was Spoon and Pig. Never forget them. I never heard anybody louder since I've played. And I've had different safeties and linebackers. I remember them two like yesterday, man. Seriously.
That's crazy, man.
When they get hurt, they can still lead your football team, man. That's how important they are to the
Hey, I'm going to tell you another crazy thing that happened, though, was the night before the game. I watched Chase Kaufman eat 2.5 mixed plates of Gates. I'm still hungry. Like, I've never seen that before in my life, man. He ate some for breakfast the next day, too. It was crazy.
Oh, my God. Wow. One thing y'all don't know is I room with Connell Davis.
Corn dog.
And so when we get to the hotel, like, Connell's a different guy. You know what I'm saying? So I come in the room and he's doing Nam yo renge kyo nam yo renge. I start cutting on lights and stuff. He's like, I'm trying to meditate. He's like, so I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm gonna be playing most of the reps today, so I guess I don't matter. So I might have went down to Will Mo room or Zoe's. I just had to go somewhere where I was welcome because he was in the zone room. So I can't do that just to be in the game with y'all.
Hey, you know, we don't talk about enough, man. Everybody talk about that season. We don't talk about the epic spades games, bro. That started in the fall camp, man. We used to get on the spades, man.
I don't talk about spades with Will Mo and Pig Brown, man.
Hey, yeah,
Will Mo and Pig Brown, you cheat so bad, man. Will Mo and Pig Brown, you cheat so bad.
Yo, so Mike, I know you want to get us on task. I know you're going to get us on task, Mike.
Yeah, they had some signs. They had cold words.
Yeah, we had them cold words.
Cheaters.
Who was just playing good cards?
Yeah, he was like, what'd you say? I need some love. He was talking about hard. I sure need some love. I can't wait to go. He said, I ain't been to the club in a while. So he'll be saying he ain't got no more club.
Oh, boy.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So, Zoe, at the end of the KU game, you know, we got our back against the wall, but we got to make a play, you know. So I remember, you know, we get the call or whatever, and it's kind of, you know, we don't know what the call is, but I remember you taking the initiative and just kind of making your own call and kind of putting me in that with you.
Right. So we got the call from the sideline, man. And at the time, man, I was like, man, we need to just go ahead and end this shit, man. I told Ziggy, I said, man, need to just end this shit. And Striker was like, let's do it, man. So when we got the call, I'm like, the call was fire. You know, I'm like, man, I don't know about that. Cause I'm thinking about fire. When I think about that now, when I look at them, the way they passed that, they was expecting us to run a zone blitz. Mm-hmm. So that's why it looks so crazy that all of us beat our man because they all slid to Chavis. And we all like, you know, yeah, they all slid to the field and we just went straight. You know what I mean? But I told Spoon, I said, hey man, hey, look over there and tell Steck you can't see. He said, what? I said, we're going straight to right here. Tell Steck you can't see.
That taught me a lot.
Yeah. He was like,
that taught me at the time was that like nobody knows more than the guys that's in the battle, you know? Yeah. And you had been in the battle longer than anybody on that defense. So, I mean, for you to be saying something, I mean, it was gold to me. That's how it was when I was sitting on your couch that summer, you know? Right. So it just is what it is.
Hey guys, this has been so much fun. And obviously, you know, you win that game, you go to #1 in the country, you go to the Cotton Bowl, you absolutely work Arkansas on New Year's.
Yeah, Willie Moe, baby. Willie Moe, Tony Temple.
City.
That's it.
Remarkable. We got to put the wraps on it, but just each guy take a little time really quick and just kind of give us a little thought on where your mind is after reliving some of these memories. Tommy Saunders, why don't you begin?
I would say that just kind of to me and my, you know, experience was I don't think anybody can say enough about Chase Daniel and what he brought to Mizzou. I mean, I look at after we left and I look at my personal career and like I'm top 10 in receptions and I played with, you know, Martin Rucker, Chase Kaufman, Jeremy Maclin, Denario Alexander. You know, I had 77 catches my senior year and, you know, you look at some of the top receptions from players after we left and they were, you know, top receptions with 78 catches and I was 4th receiver, you know, on the team. So I kind of put that in perspective whenever I'm talking to, you know, people about how great Chase was and what he brought to Mizzou, what he brought to the team. And then you throw in Tony Temple rushing for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with a spread offense with everybody getting the ball. And so I think that played into, you know, our offense and how everybody was getting the ball. Everybody was getting touches. So every play you're playing as hard as you can because you know you're going to get the ball and just doing your part. And so we had so much trust from offense to defense and just competitive, man. I mean, I can still feel it in my heart as I'm getting on here and some of those memories. Whenever I saw Willie Moe get on the call, I'm like, okay, I immediately thought about what route I was going to run, which is like, I'm not even lying. Like, it's like this stuff is ingrained in you and the connection that we have and be able to hear the stories and just hear the guys has been great. And I appreciate being a part of this and I love you guys, man. And we need to get together once this quarantine is over. And I mean, proud of you guys. You guys are all successful in your own right and great men, great fathers. And I think, you know, it started at Mizzou, you know, I think where you look at all the guys on the screen, I mean, you guys are leaders where no matter what you're doing, you guys are leading. And the one thing I think is that if you're good, you know, if you're good in high school, if you have your mind right, you're going to be good at the next level. Doesn't matter whether that's Mizzou, whether that's the NFL, whether that's being a dad, whether that's running your business. And so I see that in all you guys and just proud I got to experience those years with you and I learned so much from you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Tony Temple, take it away. What you got?
Pretty hard to follow up. They're pretty good, Tom. But man, you guys were my brothers. You know, as a kid, we're 18 years old. Some of us are 17 years old before our minds are not developed. We just don't even have the capacity sometimes to think. But we came together as brothers, as family, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And I also couple that with Tommy too. I'm so proud of everyone. Like I follow a lot of you guys, and it's just amazing to see the leadership that you guys have, not only in your families, but just in your sphere of influence. And I'm just thankful, like that I've had my time with you guys. I want to continue staying close to you guys because, like you said, this felt so good remembering this stuff. I didn't think I would remember all these wonderful stories, but it felt good talking about it. So I hope we get a chance. Thank you so much, Chase, for putting this together and for thinking about all of us. It's pretty awesome.
Pig Brown, what you got?
Oh man, look, I just want to thank everybody for being part of this. It's just crazy to me because I'm from a small city and everybody thinks that they're goats. And what is crazy is, hey, it's okay. It's really okay to feel that way. It's really okay to feel that way. But I really played with guys that were goats. And all of you guys that's on this chat right now are just like goats. Like, you really just the greatest of all time. And just to be a part of that, and just to be a part of what we're doing right now today is a blessing. And like Tommy and Temple said, you guys are my brothers. I love you guys for life. I just feel like we got that relationship. We can go 20 years without talking. And if we pull up on each other at any given time, it's just going to still be all love. And it's just been a blessing just to be a part of this.
Chase Kaufman, what you got?
Oh man, piggybacking on all you guys, it's a blessing to get this thing back going. Awesome to see y'all's faces, and I mean, kind of like you said, Tony. As a 17, 18-year-old kid, you really don't. I mean, outside of just seeing a little bit of each of you guys, and some of the guys that are on the program, when you're making and going through that decision-making process of, am I going to Mizzou? You don't really know deep down the people that you're getting involved with. And I mean, it has been such a blessing to pick Mizzou and be involved and, you know, hitch my wagon to all of you guys, right? And vice versa, that I mean, you picked me up, I picked you up. We went through so many tough things together. We cared for each other. We pushed each other to get better. And one quick story I want to share, the following year, I had a pretty good season, and J-Mac was up for the Bolitnikoff, and back then they didn't give no love to the tight ends, so they weren't going to invite me down to Orlando. And J-Mac, he brought me along as his guest, and because I was up for the Mackey Award. But, I mean, it's stuff like that, just unselfishness. I mean, as many guys that we had on offense getting the ball, as many guys we had on defense making plays, it was all about one team, one family, and it's always been about that. And, you know, getting back together and talking with you guys about it just, I mean, continues to affirm that and wants to make me take that into every other aspect of my life.
Ruck, what you got for us?
And I just want to start off by saying, you know, and I know you're a very humble cat, and I haven't really touched on it, but like, we didn't even talk about you very much in this deal. Like, bro, none of this goes down without you. And I mean, pay all the homage to Brad Smith, you know what I mean? He started the whole thing. But like, you took the keys, you know what I'm saying, and like put a supercharger on the car and put some wheels on that thing. And like, that's how we got to where we were. We had all these weapons, but none of it goes down if we don't have the guy back there to get us the ball. And Tommy said, I mean, Tommy's still the slowest wide receiver I know. And he had 77 catches his senior year. Like, I mean, it's just unreal how I can remember when you got to campus as a freshman. Like, you stayed at my house in the summer. Like, we kicked it, and I was like, this guy, he's got it. He's going to be legit. And somebody talked about that OU game our junior year, so in 06 at Mizzou. When we lost, we kind of had a little bit of a chance to win at the end, but we probably were still too far away. But I remember you threw a ball to me, and I didn't catch it. And it got knocked around, and I still should have caught it, and I know that. But after that game, you came up to me, and you said, bro, why didn't you catch the ball? And it's like 30 seconds on the clock left. Like, we weren't going to win the game. We needed an onside kick and all this other stuff to win. But, like, you cared about winning so much, and you were so young. And I can remember thinking, like, dang, I just let this dude down for real. And like, this dude, he's competitive. He cares about winning. Like, we're going to win with this guy. And you did that, man. You took us there. It took us all. We all know that. But like, you were the dude, man. And I appreciate everything you did. You are a big part of the reason that I'm on this call and that I had the career that I had. And so I appreciate that. And to everybody else on here, man, like, I can remember being a senior, and I don't even know how to play spades. I would go over to Copper Beach to J-Mac and Spoon and them's place, right? These guys are 4 years younger than me, and I'm going over to their house just to hang out. Because Will, Mo, and Pig, and then we'll be over there playing spades. They'd be playing dominoes. I didn't know how to play dominoes till I got to the NFL, right? Like 3 years into my career. I didn't even know how to play. I just went over there and hung out on the couch and talked trash. And just knowing that we only had a finite amount of time with these cats and we had something special. Like, it was just such a fun time to be alive. We had pep rallies on campus. We had never had that before. Like, just in the middle of the season for Nebraska, like, we're gonna have a pep rally. Like, it was the craziest thing ever. But we had such a good team and we had so much fun that year that this was a blast. This brought back a lot of memories. And I always tell people, I've been hitting the head a lot, so there's a lot of stuff I've forgotten. But seeing all these faces on here, and it brought back a lot of memories. And we need to do this again, and we need to get together in person again. But thanks again for putting this together, Chase. Thanks a lot for co-hosting, Mike, and everybody, again, who's watching. Please donate, because there are a lot of people out here that can use our help. Thanks for watching.
Man, thanks for the words.
Politician.
T, appreciate that. Mo City, what you got for us, man?
Oh, for sure. About to turn 35 years old in a few weeks, man. And with that said, man, we make a lot of decisions in life as we get older. We look back at them. And going to Mizzou, my plan was to go to Missouri, University of Missouri all along. And I still think that's one of the best decisions I've made in my entire life. And also staying my senior year, returning my senior year with a bunch of you guys, man, because we had something special. And, I don't know if I left a lot on the table or not. I'm one of those guys that, I don't look back at stuff like that because, that's how life is. You know what I'm saying? You can't change it. But, I'm fortunate enough to play with one team in the NFL. And, in the league, it's a business. And you very rarely begin to establish a relationship with a bunch of guys because the doors are always open. You know what I mean? So, I look back in Missouri, you guys, man, like you said, y'all brothers, dog. And, I wouldn't change any of that. And it's times like this that we're living in a pandemic going on in our world, matter of fact. And, it make you appreciate, people like you guys, people who you've grown up with, because you never know, you know what I'm saying? By tomorrow, you can get news of any one of us, you know what I'm saying? Getting this unfortunate virus or whatnot, man. And I've had someone close to me. His mom just passed, so I know how these things, it can happen. So I'm very grateful for, all you guys still look good, man. You're great fathers, great husbands, and staying healthy and continue to doing your job of staying in the house and trying to make it better. So Chase, again, man, you're doing what Chase Daniels do, man. So continue to do what you do, man, and make your mark in this world, bro. And I highly appreciate you, and see you soon.
Appreciate you, Mo City. Spoon, what you got, man?
Yo, man, it's nostalgic, I think about when I was at home. I don't know if you guys know, my senior year of high school was a little different, man. Hurricane Rita hit my hometown, so I left home for about a month or so, and we didn't have any football or anything, and I had Missouri that just kept finding me. Cell phones not working, nothing. Stack and Eberflus always kept finding me, man. And this was something that made a profound impact on me, because I realized that it was about me as a person as opposed to just coming to play ball with Missouri. And that's one of the things that I take from coming there, was to just, once I got there, to see the family and to be a part of it forever is something that I would never, let go and never take for granted. And, I know, we don't get a chance to link up all the time and speak all the time, but when we do, it's like you said, Pig, it's like riding a bike. We just get back to it, guys, shooting the jokes and, just having fun, smiling, and just enjoying the time that we have together, man. And I just want to say I'm grateful, Chase, that you took the initiative to reach out, and I'm glad to be a part of the number. And I know you're doing something positive, so I want to be a part of positive things, man. And that's kind of how I felt about Missouri. Brad Smith opened the door. I played with NCAA, played on. I was like, man, this is nice. This dude can run. And I was like, check that from South Lake County. Oh, that boy, that guy, he gonna get them wins. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shoot, I'm from Jasper. We gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna slide up to Mizzou and see how we can cook it up, man. And I'm just grateful to be here, and I love all you guys, man. And let's tap in more, man. And this, I'm trying not to be long-winded, man, but I love you. Thank you, Mike Kelly, for being a part of it too.
Yeah, Spoon, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. J-Mac, what's up, man?
Man, first and foremost, thank you for putting this on, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming on as well. We're living in tough times right now, man. And, so whoever's watching, man, please donate. You don't know how much a little can go a long way. However much you want to do, man, it'll definitely help a lot of people. The biggest thing for me is, and I take away from just this group of guys right here, is just how selfless everybody is. And everybody here, plays a big part in my life. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have accomplished the things that I've accomplished. And people, don't really understand when I say that, because they're like, oh, you did a lot of work. Yeah, I did a lot of work myself, but all you guys played a big part of when I got drafted, the success I had in college, the life that I'm living now, right? Because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be in this position. And I appreciate that. Chase, I appreciate you, man. I still need my jersey, though. I'm saying it right now. I need my jersey. Plants need my jersey, man.
Put me on blast. I like it.
But, man, a bunch of toughness guys, man, and I appreciate all y'all.
Zoe.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. Like everybody said, man, it's some tough times, man. Like if you got a chance to donate a little bit, man, like J-May said, a little bit go a long way. And it's a real thing. Everybody's feeling this in some way or another. So, make sure you reach out to your loved ones, tell them you love them. You know what I mean? This has been great for me. I think one thing Coach Pinkel told me when I left school, man, we talked about a lot of things, but he always told me that no matter where I went in the world, man, I would never run into people that was like me except for the people that was with me. And that's y'all, you know what I mean? So I tell you what, if nothing else that man told me was true, which a lot of it was, and I get to use a lot of stuff, that we learned in my daily life because I coach. But that was one thing that stuck with me for real. Because it's a lot of people walking around the world, man, did not have the experiences or the leadership or the camaraderie or the love or the stuff that we had when we was at Mizzou, man. It's really true. Like, not seeing y'all for a long time, or I still talk to a lot of people all the time, but when we get a chance to get back together, man, it's like you going back home. Just sitting here on this Zoom meeting is like going back home. You know what I mean? So I love all y'all, man. I appreciate everybody. I use y'all every day. I use y'all every day as an example for kids that I coach every day, man. Just everybody, man. I got a little quarterback that I'm coaching right now that remind me just like Chase. I mean, like I said, I want to thank y'all. I think a lot of
Chase Dayton.
I want to thank a lot of y'all young cats, man. Chase Dayton, baby.
Chase Dayton.
Yeah. I want to thank y'all young cats, man. I think without y'all buying into what we were saying, man, and believing in us as leaders, man, things could have went a different way real easy. I think y'all came in hungry, man, and wanted to get it done. I got to spend a lot of time with Ziggy personally because we did a lot of work together just in general. Ziggy kept me on my toes. Ziggy left me out there to dry in the 110s, went over there and ran the receipt with the BBs, pissed me off. I thought I was doing a good job of linebackers.
My senior year.
Yeah. But it's just a lot of stuff, man. Like y'all been great, man. Like I said, I use y'all every day as an example for my kids, man, and the people that I'm coaching. So y'all, the one thing I say that's really crazy. The kids that I'm coaching right now don't remember when Missouri wasn't good, and that got a lot to do with the people that's on this chat, man. Like I talk about Missouri, they like, man, Missouri been good. They've been good forever. Them kids was born in 2000. They don't remember the 90s and the 70s and the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, so y'all, everybody on here, man. Like I said, I use y'all every day, man. And I appreciate y'all so much for everything y'all did for me and my family. I had kids first, so everybody loved my kids. You know what I mean? It was great. So I love y'all, man. It's been great. Been great to see y'all.
Appreciate you, Zoe. Last but not least, Ziggy.
Falsehood.
Yo, man, I think it's the memories that we have and stuff like that. And, whether that's from Chase D getting, recruited, not because he was, South Lake Carroll and all that. No, because he was the only one that had a car on campus as a freshman. You know what I'm saying? At that time. To J. Ray having face paint for winter condition every single day.
Oh, man.
Willie Moe having the Mizzou car sitting on Dubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Went to Zoe, convincing the D-line to wear no knee braces during practice and having Coach Poole cuss us out and flip the table. And what I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to T-Ruck, every time after the team video or Coach Pinkel gets done talking, T-Ruck would kick the whiteboard down and everybody would just go nuts. And that, for me, that pumped me up just even thinking about that. And then from the time in Iowa State when we was playing, when me and Pig got into it on the sideline because we couldn't contain that quarterback that was running around so much. It was all love, all that, man. But it's just having those memories, just everything coming back to fold, just thinking about it, man. Just things like that, just you have to cherish, and whoever's donating, appreciate it. And make sure you call your loved ones. Unfortunately, that we have a pandemic going on, but the good side is to it that people are now coming together just like we are, speak through Zoom and stuff. And that's what I appreciate. Shout out to Mike, shout out to Chase for putting this whole thing together, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no, guys, listen, we're going to wrap here, but man, just hearing every single one of you talk about not only what Mizzou meant to you, or what maybe I meant to you, or what the coaches meant to you, or all that. Like, it just, like, you get emotional, and it's a good thing, because what I'm hearing here and what I'm hearing in this chat, man, is that first of all, we need to do it more. We got that group text going, right? Well, that's gonna. Yep. We've got some stories on there that we can't tell in here.
It'll be an uncut Zoom.
Yeah, uncut version. And two, just how much I love you guys, right? Each and every one of you played had a profound impact in my life personally. And I'm not even talking about, the impact that you guys had on all the small kids in Missouri and around the state that were around the nation that were Mizzou fans, and just the type of people that you guys are and the type of role models that you guys are. Because as you know, it goes way, way deeper and way, way longer than football, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're going to be in the rest of our lives more than any part of football. Right. And I'm lucky enough to be playing, but my time's coming to an end, I'm sure, soon. Like, and I'm going to be off the horse, and you're going to live your life with your brothers, you guys right here, a lot longer than you play football. So seriously, guys, from the bottom of my heart, Mike, you too, man, I appreciate it. You've been voice of the Tigers has been something else. And
don't y'all just get goosebumps listening to Mike talk
every time?
Yeah.
What about when you got that? Whenever you get that. What about whenever you get the invite to do Tiger Talk? You get to go up there. You knew you was gonna be hanging out with Mike, and you get that free meal though.
Yeah, buddy. Them Blowout.
Say big.
Mizzou isn't Mizzou without y'all being a part of it. Like, it's just like, stop. Don't do this. Yeah. Mizzou isn't Mizzou if you don't mention these guys that is on this chat right now. Like, it's just really not. I don't think. I mean, me personally, I can go back and do research, but Mizzou isn't Mizzou without these guys that's here right now. That's all,
Hey, let me just say this real quick. Chase, thanks for letting me be a part of it. To each and every one of you guys, being around every one of you guys has enriched my life more than you'll ever know. And I'm proud of each and every one of you. I love you all, and just look really forward to seeing you sometime soon. So again, Chase, thank you so much. What a great cause, and what a great night.
You guys stay on. Thank you, brother. Hey, everyone, stay on real quick. I'm just going to end the broadcast and we can talk some more. Guys, thank you so much for watching Chase Chats, the reunion, man. This was so much fun. Can't wait to show you.